Darlings, happy Sunday. Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. Let me put some chapstick on. I don't know why I'm putting a chapstick on. You guys can't see me anyway. Anywho, still, how has your weekend been? It's been a fun, fabulous weekend and week. And, well, you know, I have to say, 2024 is still my friend. Like every day is my friend. But there are some years where you feel like the storms just keep coming and it just doesn't seem to ebb. I know. I understand. I completely understand, darlings. But you know when they say like the storms never seem to end, that just means when it does finally end, you're a lot more resilient, a lot stronger, and are able to face anything else that life will throw at you. And with that, fabulous people, let's get started with just a short little blip. Ouch. I think I'm getting arthritis in my finger. This is no good. Well, you know that your Auntie Sarcy is super old. In other news, we'll be tackling just a short, like little commentary on the ongoing Jeanie Mai versus Jeezy issue, the Jonas brothers, and Miss Aoki Simmons. I mean, let's just get started, okay? So Jeanie Mai and Jeezy, the hell with these two? They are still at it. Like, y'all are not done or tired? Jeezy is back in court to sue for full custody of his daughter with Jeannie Mai. Jeannie, for her part, is alleging that their daughter, Monaco, isn't that cute, Monaco, isn't safe with Jeezy as he has firearms in his home, which allegedly isn't always safely secured and out of reach of the baby. Ugh, holy smokes. It's like a tit for tat with these bickering adults. And I wouldn't be surprised if the child is going to need a therapist too, like soon. Hello, parents. Can you please be actual parents? Please. Per radar online, the rapper accuses Jeannie Mai of staging pictures of Monaco with one of his firearms to make it look like it's unsafe for the child to be around him. For his part, Jeezy is saying that he moved to the basement following their separation and brought one of these firearms with him for protection in case of intruders. Um, Sir, you said you moved to the basement? Um, Unless that basement is like a safe room, how in the heck are you going to protect your family living above you when the intruders would be coming in on the same level as your family's living quarters? What in the hell? But then again, Jeannie Mai has moved out in a huff out of their marital home, and maybe this is one of those great reasons why she left with a job. But also, Cheese has been claiming that there's never been an incident with a child relating to the firearms owned by him. Sir, are you serious right now? Like, your child is barely able to speak full sentences. How do you suppose the child would be able to differentiate from a toy versus a harmful object? What the hell? Ah, damn. You're really going to use that as an excuse to, like, include that there's also a gate preventing the child from getting near you where your firearm is also nearby. Are you serious? A gate at the top of the stairs is not going to prevent any child getting past it for royals. A toddler? Hello? No. I mean, those gates aren't exactly made of iron or something heavy duty that the child would be unable to rock loose. You know what I mean? Like, look, sir, you've just opened a can of worms. Is your counsel advising you? I sure hope so. Because if I were your counsel, I would definitely be asking why you have firearms laying out when there's minors around. I'd also be asking, where do you normally keep these? And probably likely would want to see for myself, if I were your counsel, that is, how safe your lockbox is. You know, just in case I get called before the judge as your counsel, I would have factual evidence to support my argument on your behalf. I'm just saying. And don't you have cameras in your house, like perimeter cameras and interior cameras? Because you know you're a famous person who obviously is known to a lot of fans, and some of those may be even the kind that aren't going to be deterred by giving people their personal space, if you know what I mean. It must also be noted that Jeezy and Jeannie Mai were married for about 2 years, and it's like, honestly, you two need therapy, for reals. Drown out the noise coming from every which way and really do some serious introspection. Like, sir, you also have multiple baby mamas. Both you and your current wife need to take stock of the roles you played in the demise of your marriage and be better responsible parents to your child together. Like, you realize the internet will still be around when your child goes to junior high and beyond, right? Anyway, let's move on now to the Jonas Brothers, who've just postponed their tour, their European leg of their tour because, and I quote, "Hmm, before that, it must be noted that the, what are they called? The group or the band were set to release their fifth studio album like around 2013, but had canceled that, stating at the time that there was a deep rift within the band, per their spokesperson. Apparently, this was over an argument the trio, all brothers, Nick, Joe, and Kevin, had over the direction of the band's music, which led to the cancellation of their 19-date tour. Ticket holders' money were refunded for this tour. Just saying. Now, let's fast forward to 2019, where the brothers got together, released their album, their first in over a decade as a group, which was called Happiness Begins. It's also when they went on this massive comeback tour with BB Rexa as I think she was a guest performer or a guest performer, where they sold 1.2 million tickets and grossed over $120 million. Like, holy smokers. That's a whole lot of dollar bills, if you ask me. And in 2021, on the heels of their massively successful comeback tour, the band announced another tour called Remember It. This tour, I think that's the name, is like Remember It. This, okay. Anyway, I think that's what it's supposedly called. Anywho, this tour was supposedly exclusively for the American side of the world. And if you're a fan from outside of the country, well, likely if you really wanted to be there, you'd have to grab accommodations and tickets very early, soon, like as soon as dates were announced. Anywho, flash forward again to 2023, post pandemic, where the group has announced another tour called Five Albums, One Night, the World Tour. Okay, then. Shoot. So this is kind of like reminiscent of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, except, this is the Jonas Brothers version. All right, then. Now that we got that out of the way, this tour was slated to have 67 songs performed by the band, spanning their albums from all the way back to 2007. You know, in the early days of their ascent into full blown stardom. So, the North American leg of this tour has come and gone, which started in August 2023 and ending in December 2023. So, the rest of the tour dates were, like I said earlier, for the European leg of the tour was canceled. It was supposed to begin May 18 in Norway this year because, and the reason is, drum roll, please. I know that's not a drum roll, but I can't like do a drum roll right now. They, the band, released a video on their social media platform explaining their decision to reschedule all the dates of their Euro tour because, and I quote, they have exciting projects they're working on, which they are excited to share with their fans later on. End unquote. Huh? What? So later on in the fall is the slated rescheduled dates, but Latin American dates are still going full speed ahead per their socials. Oh wow. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on that. Isn't it typically months ahead when you know that you have better opportunities coming up that you just can't miss? I mean, then again, if you are T Swift, you'd be able to juggle each of those opportunities on each of pretty slender fingers. I mean, isn't there a team behind the Jonas Brothers? And no apologies whatsoever for their fans? Like, what? Bombastic audacity is what it is. Like, I did not hear at all. Like, oh, we're sad. I would have liked that to have been like, yeah, very sorry to, whatever. Um, okay, I get it. Boy bands are still hot in these streets, but then again, y'all are not BTS. I'm just saying. Of course, fans like the nostalgia, but if you screw them over, they won't be around very long to keep your pockets filled. You know what I mean? Hmm. And moving on along, Aoki Simmons. Oh dear child, honestly. Girl, I thought your St. Bart's vacay slash gag inducing stupidity dating a 65-year-old man was over. But dang, apparently not. She was allegedly dumped by her alleged sugar daddy because, as we can recall from the video she posted driving around St. Bart's with her grandpappy boyfriend. The conversations were like one of a granddaughter out on a field trip with her granddad. Mm. Who can forget the crepe thing? When she repeatedly asked for the crepe, like it just screamed toddler behavior. I know many of us are still wondering why she would subject herself to this sort of infamy, but I digress. Look, she did mention in the video that, like, the Bulgarian necklace or what have you. I mean, is that Bulgarian necklace that expensive that she couldn't work a few modeling gigs and save up for it herself? Um, I mean, did she get like info from her friends about this yacht life, about how potentially easy it is to quote unquote earn money by being an arm candy to someone whose pockets are incredibly deep? Is that the soft life, hard wig thing? Anywho, she's recently posted on her socials, post, the breakup. I mean, if you can even call it that, that she's depresso espresso, but have at least found her packages. Hmm. On the one hand, I hope this isn't another ploy for attention and that she really is feeling down after her 1 second blip of a relationship with the senior citizen beau. I mean, how else to describe it as? The dude really is a senior citizen. That's not a shady comment. I'm hoping her family rallies around her and helps her get through this phase with like licensed professionals who can assist with whatever is ailing her. On the other hand, she had this coming though. And for a Harvard grad, she had it coming the attention that's like that she's been getting because I mean, girl, you're a Harvard grad. You're not all that dense. This phase or fling that you had, it was definitely to attract the kind of attention that you didn't want, but you threw all caution to the wind with that one. It was meant to cause alarm and maybe also move her profile front and center for deep pocketed characters who pay to play. I, whatever happened to pivoting to a different career if your diploma doesn't open doors for you in your preferred profession? Like, I'm not saying she didn't have any feelings for old grandpappy, but change Louise. There's no shame in starting your career at the bottom rung and working your way to CEO levels. I'm just saying. Definitely not something you should start on your knees, okay? Unless that's your preference, then I guess you do you, right? I sure hope her parents sit her down and give her the talking to she desperately needs. Parents can't always be your BFF. They first need to be parents before they can be your BFF. You know what I mean? Anywho, again, short little blip on those people who've like just come across my feeds on my socials. And darlings, I shall see you again in the next go around. Do be kind to yourselves and remember, you are all kinds of fabulous because how else would you be but your fabulous self, right? And then also remember, I know it's very difficult. I mean, especially when you're driving in traffic. But do try to leave some grace for others and never forget to continue to journey in gratitude. I shall see you all later and have a fabulous week ahead of you. Mwah.